October 1st marked the 72nd anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party's rule in China. To celebrate the occasion, the Communist Party held a grand celebration.
在欢快的乐曲声中，中外宾同举杯，共贺新中国成立72周年。同祝
The celebration might have been even grander had it not been for the nationwide electricity shortage. On October 2nd, the Beijing municipal government announced that the city would suspend its light shows and reduce nighttime landscape lighting hours. It also requested that office equipment and lighting be turned off in a timely manner, and that the use of staircases be promoted and the use of elevators be reduced. There was a growing sentiment among Chinese people, both in China and abroad, that today's China does not belong to the people, but the Red Power elite. The day the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, took over China and established its regime, the Chinese civilization of thousands of years old was suspended and the land fell. Chinese people have been controlled by a ruler who hates them deeply. Therefore, October 1st should not be considered China's national day, but rather a day of national sorrow. Extreme weather and mishaps in mainland China have not stopped since the beginning of 2021, and on the CCP's ruling anniversary, the situation is equally bad, which serves as a clear omen to some Chinese people. This is the city of Zhengzhou in central China, the same city that suffered a significant flood this summer due to an unannounced release of a reservoir. On October 1st, a drone show was arranged as part of the holiday celebration. However, many drones suddenly broke down and exploded in the air. People at the scene said, "The show started at 9 p.m. A formation of 4 characters appeared only once, and soon after, the drones fell out of control." In another city in the same province on the same day, on October 1st, the safety fence and a rope on a suspension bridge suddenly snapped. Many people fell into the water, and the casualties are still unknown. In the early morning of October 1st, heavy rainfall accompanied by hail, thunderstorms, wind, and lightning fell in the city of Dalian in northeast China, with egg-sized hail that lasted for 30 minutes. The hailstorm damaged numerous cars on the roadside, with their windshields smashed. According to a notice issued by Dalian International Airport, the airport was affected by the sudden hailstorms and extreme weather, damaging aircraft, resulting in flight delays and cancellations. Also, on the same day, October 1st, a village in the central city of China was hit by a tornado. Many large pieces of debris were blown up and floating in the air. Some landed on cars, and some roofs were torn apart.
哎呦我妈的，有史以来的第一场龙卷风，把昆玉山、林场、东店后村的这些房子啥都给打的不成样子了，全都受损失了。哎呦我的天哪，快瞅瞅，看看这有史以来百年不遇的龙卷风吗？
The tornado caused the entire village to lose electricity and was accompanied by egg-sized hailstones, resulting in heavy losses.
看看，这是刚才刮的龙卷风，把苹果都给人家刮掉了。哇塞，这是咋回事呢？
In addition, on September 30th, a tunnel collapsed at 9:20 a.m. in southern China. Casualties are still unknown. The video shows that some vehicles were about to exit the tunnel at the time of the collapse. In a September 30th release, the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, said, On behalf of the United States of America, I would like to extend our congratulations to the people of the People's Republic of China. As the U.S. seeks to work cooperatively to solve the challenges we all face, we wish the people of the PRC peace, happiness, and prosperity over the coming year. The U.S. Department of State sends annual National Day congratulatory letters to various countries with diplomatic ties, including China. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is known to have issued a similar statement in 2020 on such an occasion, but did not mention that the U.S. seeks to cooperate with China. Blinken's statement is seen as an indication that the two countries are trying to improve the strained relationship of the past few years. Last week, the U.S. Justice Department reached a deferred prosecution agreement with Huawei's chief financial officer, Meng Wanzhou. But there seems to be a mysterious force that makes even a blessing from the U.S. turn sour. On September 30th, the city of Boston raised a flag to celebrate China's National Day. Unexpectedly, the flag-raising device broke, and the flag got stuck in the middle of the flagpole. As we know, half-mast usually means mourning. As a result of this sour note, a scheduled speech by a CCP representative was cancelled, and several pro-communists left the event early. A U.S. Army infantry guard named David was on the scene using a loudspeaker to voice his opposition in front of City Hall. He said, "I live here and this is my backyard, and I don't like to raise the communist flag in my backyard." Seeing the failure of the CCP flag raising, David said, "It's from God's will that it won't go up." In the meantime, an old post from 2016 has gone viral on Chinese social media platforms. The title of the post is, "This holiday has nothing to do with me." The post uses Zhao's family to refer to the CCP. It reads like this: "I was wished a happy holiday early in the morning, but this holiday has nothing to do with me. As we all know, I was born in a country with a long history of over 3,700 years, and my ancestors can be traced back at least 20 generations. 67 years ago, the Zhao family, a proxy for the CCP, established the regime and our homeland fell. Since then, our ancestral land has become the private property of the Zhao family under the banner of the world is for the common good, and we have become the owners of nothing. A long journey proves the stamina of a horse, and the passage of time tells the truth from the false. After 30 years of torment and 30 years of plunder, the Zhao family is still the Zhao family. We are still us, and we still have nothing. This holiday has nothing to do with me. I will not forget my ancestors. After being deprived of my rights, I can't pretend to accept people wishing me a happy holiday." In reality, on November 7, 1931, the National Day of the Soviet Union, the CCP announced the establishment of a temporary Central People's Government of the Chinese Soviet Union. The then ruling government was the Republic of China, or ROC, which now presides over Taiwan. The Communist Party's Soviet regime was like a state within a state. Its slogan was, "Defending the Soviet Union with force." Since ancient times, China has been known as the Divine Land, blessed and watched over by the divine. The essence of traditional Chinese culture is the belief in the divine, Buddhas and Taos, respecting heaven and earth and emphasizing the harmony of heaven and man. It carries a deep and rich connotation and honors noble and traditional morals. It permeates all aspects of society, from personal conduct and family relationships to the regulation of officialdom and governance of society. Over the long course of history, although there had been minorities who established regimes and dynasties on the land of China, they did not interrupt the traditional mainstream Chinese culture, but rather were themselves integrated into it. The only exception is communism. In the book, The Communist Manifesto, written by Karl Marx, its first sentence reads, "A ghost, the specter of communism, wanders in Europe." Along with its rise in China, the CCP has been using various political movements to uproot traditional Chinese culture, from destroying precious cultural relics to eliminating the traditional Chinese ideology and values. At the same time, it has vigorously promoted materialism, atheism, evolution, and violent struggle in China. It can be said that its ideological system is utterly contrary to traditional Chinese culture. According to the book, 9 Commentaries on the Communist Party, it is estimated that 60 to 80 million Chinese people have died unnaturally since 1949, more than the total number of deaths in the 2 world wars combined. The Chinese nation once created a glorious culture and was respected by the world. However, in the last decades, the CCP has plunged Chinese people into moral degradation and consequent contempt. 72 years later, an increasing number of Chinese people have stepped out of the shackles of Chinese communist ideology. Perhaps soon, the real invaders will be driven out of China. Chinese people would return to their spiritual homeland, which was passed down from generation to generation.